Hello everyone, this is Prashant Chaudhary. I welcome you all to my channel Classic Power. This is the fifth episode of this Power Automate Beginner series. In this episode, we'll be explaining the scheduled flow example. We're covering any flow that we design would be type of a schedule type and understand how we can actually leverage this type of flows in our system. Okay, so I'm just navigating to my screen. Okay, so as on the explanation of the schedule flows, if you guys can remember, I told you that these are those flows that would be triggered at a particular interval of time or at a particular time. Okay, you need to give it a good name, good time, either at morning AM or evening AM or at any time throughout of your clock. That type of flows comes under the schedule flows. Okay, so understand what type of case we can cover from the schedule flow. Let's take any type of case when on every morning you want your system to create one item in SharePoint, one, create one item in SharePoint list. See, in all of my example, I'm using the SharePoint list item. Why I'm using this same case in all the flows? Because I'm just trying to understand how the same thing can be achieved from different type of flows. How it would be doable from the automate type of flows, how it would be doable from the instant flows, and how it would be doable from the schedule type of flows. So okay, so we are doing the same thing again. We need to create the one item in the SharePoint list, but we are using the uh, schedule type of flow in this example. Okay, so this is our case. Let's get started. We'll go with the create, and now we have this scheduled cloud flows. Here, flow name. Let's say we say at create item. Run this flow as this would be the schedule time. It runs at a particular time. So you need to give the time at what time it should run, and it should repeat itself up in what interval. This is something you need to define, because this is the schedule type. This is like a scheduler that runs at a particular interval of time. Okay, so let's say we need it to start from today itself at 12 a.m, and we need it to repeat after every second, not every second. Let's say okay, we'll make the second, because we also need to do some testing. Okay, we when we find that the flow is working very good, then after we'll simply stop the flow and it will run very well, because every second that flow will be triggered. So every and on every trigger it simply do some actions. Okay, so let's start this. So don't try it at your side, because every second means if your flow is too big and you are doing some work on, and your flow is triggering at every second, it would be a very hectic situation for you. So I'm doing this because I simply close this once the my demo would be over. Okay, so I'll simply creating the flow, create this reoccurrence. This is the connector. This is the trigger point that we get when we design the schedule type of flows. So what we need in this, we need to create the create data. Again, we are doing this in the SharePoint list, and proceed with the production site, and the name was parent, and create item. we get this title. Okay, the column. In the column, what we need, we want it to create one item whose title would be the combination of the schedule scheduled underscore, and we need also to fetch at what time it is triggering. Okay, so we use the UTC now. UTC now is a function that is used to generate the system's date and time. Okay, okay, so this flow would be triggered on this flow has started from the 15th of January at 10 a.m. morning, and it would repeat at after every second. Okay, so let's get started. Let's once we save it, then after we can see it. Okay, so right now let's delete everything because we also need to delete those records that would be created. Okay, so let's get started. You can simply click on this save button. You can also see in this interval is the 1 second. After every second that flow would be triggered. Okay, and this time zone. Start time zone is 4:30 T. Let's start it now. Save. Now as it allowed to occurrence at most of every 6 seconds. You can't make it as 1 second. So because if your flow is taken at after every second, it would be too much cost in your Power Automate, and that would not be a good practice. So that's why it is restricting you to make the interval to 60 seconds minimum. So 60 seconds means 1 minute. Okay, so now my flow would be triggered at after every minute. So let's get started, save it. So it's 500. Let's get started. No, so it has already saved. Now let's see. After 1 minute, it will just create one record. Okay, so 500 is the time. Let's check at 51. Okay, so I'm just pausing this video for some seconds. So right now it's 5-1. So we can see we can get the first record here. Okay, so it has triggered. And if I try to see the schedule and the date, this is the output of my UTC. Okay, let's try to understand what is written here. See, and wait for the 5-2, so that would create the new record here. So this is something. This is our date. This is our time. This is our hour and seconds. Minute and seconds. Okay. So if I go with the second record, it would be having around 0, not it's 32 would be there. Okay. So let's get started. If you are noticing that we have the difference 11:31 and right now its time is 5 because of this time zones. My SharePoint is working on the minus 5:30 and my system is on the plus 30, so that's why this difference is of 5:30 hours. Okay, so it is because of the time zones. Okay, so please ignore this. You can make the sync of this. So right now we have this 5:2 and now we'll check here. It should have also, it has already created 5:2. Okay, so that's how the schedule type of flows will actually run. Okay, so let's get stop this because I don't want this to create too many records in my system. Got it, and simply stop this. Turn off. You can make your flows turn off from here. Turn off, and I'm simply deleting this. Okay, no, I'm not deleting. Okay, so this is the example of the scheduled flow everyone. So thank you for this video. Thanks for watching this video, and let's get stay tuned for the sixth video where I would be explaining the desktop and the BPF, business process flows, in one video itself. Okay, so let's meet in the next video. Thank you.